He's always start the same. Welcome to Chaos and Coffee. My name is Justin Brown. Your comments, private messages, direct messages, you send me a smoke signal. That drives the content. Otherwise, we have chaos. That's what we offer you. Chaos. That's what we do once a week. Once a week about this time. Check us out. Chaos and Coffee, episode 22. Boop, boop, boop. As always, our panel includes Darth Tux and Vertex Draco. We are just talking about a couple of things, so we put that on pause and started. That's how it pretty much happens. We have a pre-show, which anyone's welcome to join our pre-show. There's, again, exclusive content during the pre-show. And then also after the show, once things get a little bit too real, we have a little bit of a post-show, which people can join. Again, only by being inside the video conference. You don't have to get on camera or even talk, but please contribute in some way so that we know you're not a bot. You know, artificial intelligence is getting really advanced, and we just want to make sure you're not a YouTube bot trying to get us to buy Adidas tracksuits.
Or telling us how we can make millions a month working at home.
You can make millions a month working from home. My favorite is this girl in your area. I'm like, nice try, ad. I'm not falling for this.
There aren't any girls in my area.
At all.
Oh.
That'd be bad. That'd be like one of those countries. There are countries where the male population exceeds the female population, and that's no bueno.
Alaska.
I didn't know Alaska was like that. Dang. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's like 3 men to every woman in Alaska. You kidding me, man? Every woman wants to live there.
Oh, you know, they have a lot of workers that go up there seasonally, like dudes.
Yeah. Well, I had an opportunity when I was a teenager to move to Alaska and work for a marijuana plantation.
It's a good opportunity.
Join the sausage fest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was my future father-in-law's family. They're like, yeah, come up and work for us for a season. We'll pay you good.
But you be trimming until your hands got arthritis, dude. Trimming. That's what they always want workers for.
Yeah, I didn't smoke it back then either. I looked at it like, oh, you're going to pay me to go help you produce some drugs? No.
Oh yeah, if it was a while ago, no way. Nowadays, where the prohibitions ended in most of the Western states.
Well, I mean, I didn't smoke marijuana for the first time until I was 23. Yeah.
Was the effect positive or negative?
It was positive.
I don't.
It was positive. What happened was I had always been attracted to the stoners, right? Which is funny. I hung out with the stoners, but I didn't smoke. I was always talking shit about it. It's stuff, gonna mess your mind up, blah, blah, whatever. He said, well, hey, man, don't knock it until you've tried it. I said, well, okay, you know what?
You know, the first time, or the first couple of times I smoked, I must have been like about 16 or something. And I didn't feel anything from it, to be honest. Like, it was kind of boring to me. Like, I smoked and I was like, why? I don't understand why people like this. I didn't really feel all that different. And people were saying, oh, you're so stoned. And I was like, am I? Like, oh, I don't understand the difference. And my friend was like, oh, just trust me. You just need to smoke more of it. Like, just keep smoking it. And I don't know, I kept smoking it, and I got drawn into it. I didn't actually start. I didn't smoke tobacco until I was like 21 or something when I got my motorbike, because I couldn't smoke. I couldn't smoke weed when I was on a sport bike. So,
right. Well, my thing was I grew up in a biker household. My father was a biker.
Mm.
And I'm talking real, like, I don't know if you're familiar with Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the TV show. Yeah, those kind of people. And a lot of my people, or a lot of my family still are. They're not criminals. They're what we consider independent. But my father loved to party, right? So these guys were always over. Our place was the clubhouse.
Mm.
So I always had guys walking up to me, here, lick this piece of paper, or with me, some booze, constantly smoking weed around me. Although I didn't smoke it myself, I knew I was getting effects from it, right? So I didn't know which of these drugs were the ones that caused me to freak out and, see shit, and which ones of them were the ones that made me feel good.
Mm.
So my outlook on drugs and seeing what it did to these people, man. I mean, these people looked rough. And they'd tell stories about, oh, yeah, I was riding down the highway the other day, and all of a sudden I forgot who I was and where I was and how to ride the bike, and, freaked out, So I just kind of lumped them all together. It was like, drugs are bad, okay?
Drugs are bad.
All of them, straight up. Yeah, and that was what I grew up with, and still kind of do. I'll experiment on occasion with particular drugs. Most of them I tend to stay away from.
Mm.
But only if I'm with somebody I trust who has experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Like even
But,
from
for the most part, I mean, if I know somebody's a tweaker or something, I'm not gonna spend the time to talk to them.
yeah, there are people, like, if you take certain drugs, I don't really like associating with certain types of people. It depends what they take, to be honest. But looking back on everything that I've done, I'd recommend people not even to get into it at all, to be honest. Like, save your money and get into something more productive earlier on.
And it's the same thing with alcohol. Alcohol is your real gateway drug, people.
It is, yeah. That's the, like, people talk about weed as if it's a gateway drug. It's not. Alcohol is the gateway drug. It'll lead you down a dark path.
Check this out.
Yeah, even though I didn't start smoking weed till I was in my 20s. Yeah, I didn't stop drinking till I was 21.
Damn.
So there you go.
To each their own, right?
When all my friends were like,
everything
"Hey,
in
let's go to the
moderation."
bar," I was like, "Well, hey, I grew up in a bar, man. I'm done with that."
Dude, it's one of those things where people can get the same effect by doing various activities, right? I'm sure we're only years away from a VR system that'll induce most of the effects that you feel during any of these illegal activities. They'll have a nice, safe VR experience, So just, wait it out, kids, or do yoga or tantra, Don't do drugs.
Tai Chi.
Oh yeah, definitely do tantra.
Yoga's gay.
Joe Rogan said that yoga is the only martial art where you fight yourself.
Well, yeah. Tai Chi is seen as an internal martial art as well, so that's not entirely true.
Oh man, I'm telling you, balance on one foot for a couple of minutes and.
Yeah, that's the warm-up exercises for me. Yeah. Like standing on one leg and circling the leg, and just to get yourself warmed up and balanced and everything.
That's a good point. There's martial arts, kids. There's various activities. You can go hiking. Just like the change in elevation, like you get out.
Yeah, definitely spend more time outdoors.
Yeah.
I grew up in one of those families that was children are heard and not seen, and that meant you were outside.
Well, I mean, that's good though. Outside
was nice.
Yeah, it's nice outside.
Yeah.
I live in
of course, that also meant that we'd get on our bicycles and ride all over town and cause havoc and chaos everywhere we went.
Yeah, we used to do that as well. Yeah,
that's how I grew up. I grew up that.
And I did have the advantage of living in a really quiet little town in the middle of nowhere.
Mm.
Yeah, it's good.
We should go to our viewer and see what their comments are. Viewer, do you have some comments or commentary or questions about riding bicycles all day?
That might that might be me because I'm
We used
watching
to-
the chat.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
We used to capture bats and turn them loose in the girls' dormitory at the college.
That's pretty intense. That's pretty intense, dude. You
I
still catch?
imagine it'd be difficult to even catch that.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like you caught bats.
No,
and then-
you take a sock, right? Preferably a knee high or a nylon, something fairly
Sock.
long. You put a tennis ball on the bottom of it. Then you tie a knot in it. You drop down about a foot or so, tie another knot, put some rocks in it, and tie that off. You spin it around and you throw it up amongst the bats when they're flying around the trees.
What the fuck?
They'll grab it in the midair. Their talons will get caught in it, and the rocks will drag them to the ground. And you just walk over, pin their wings down to the ground, pull their talons out, and stuff them in a sack.
That's kind of brutal. Right? We used to just throw tennis balls at bats.
Yep. Bats are cool too.
Yeah, I preferred terrorizing people on my own without the help of animals.
You can do that just for a survival instance. Like a survival instance, you take a ball, put it in a sock, tie a knot, put rocks in it, right? Tie another knot. They think it's like some fucking bird or some type of shit in their swarm, and so they grab at it. You know, like they think it's a little dove or you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And then it gets dragged to the ground. You can eat that motherfucker. Forget releasing it into
Yeah.
a prank. Awesome. Okay, a survival situation. I'm just thinking about, man, there are bats all over, especially like in deserts or areas where it's like really hard to find food. You know what I mean?
They are edible too. I mean, they're a good source of protein.
Hell yeah, dude.
Gotta eat a lot of them though.
Anything I'd catch right in the wild, like any type of almost, I'd say damn near any animal on that initial kill, right before I've learned how to like properly gut it to like roast it or whatever, I'm probably going to end up messing up the gutting process enough that I'm going to have like chunks of meat that I'll probably just throw into boiling water, purified. You know, when I'm running water through some type of filter and then boiling it.
Yeah.
That meat in there, and that way I'm consuming water, I'm hydrating, and I'm consuming that protein, and a little bit of sage or whatever plant nearby can get thrown in there too. And a soup, when you're surviving, a soup isn't that hard to make. You know, like it's like it's not bad to hype.
You can throw all kinds of stuff in there too, tree bark and
yeah. Yep.
Pine needles. Pine cone. Actually, pine cone tea is quite tasty, believe it or not.
See, I know pine needles have a citrus in them, so they like give you a little bit of vitamin C. Anything that has like a citrusy taste or like that you know, tart citrus taste has some element of vitamin C in there, some degree. Yep, that's fun. So when you're on the hero's journey, kids, remember, you might have to be in the woods or in a cave surviving. It's almost impossible to just
Most
recreate.
insects are edible too.
Dude, if it moves, it's meat.
It's gross, but you
That's
know, that's it.
That's the orc way of looking at life. If it moves, it's meat.
If it moves, kill it.
Well, like literally, if it's moving around, it's meat, right? Like you can eat that as long as it's
tempted to look outside at the people. It's moving and just run outside of that.
I am not pro cannibal. I'd like to state at this point for the record, Google 2020, that I am not pro cannibal.
I am. I'm pro cannibal.
Okay, we'll argue that one now.
I'm not biased towards eating any kind of meat.
Dude, I think eating humans would be on par with isn't there like I think there's a disease associated with it for one.
Yeah,
I think there's
it's not healthy. That's
okay. There's definitely a disease
it's not actually
associated
good for you.
I think the other thing is because every single time I watch a movie and there's cannibals, they're always like twitchy and like weird, like and it's like I'm like, is that the disease?
Yeah, the mad cow disease.
I'm not sure if it's a disease or it's, we're not capable of processing that kind of
We
meat.
should look it up.
There's some sort of reason behind it, but I don't remember what it is. It's a long time ago.
Literally Googling it now. Does cannibalism cause a disease?
Well, I have an issue with cannibalism myself. It's people just shouldn't be eating other people. However, if put in a situation where you had no other choice, everybody would.
Morally, I don't have a problem.
Your base instincts are going to take over, and your conscious mind is going to go away, and you're not going to know that you're eating somebody, but you are.
Okay, so there's this disease called Kuru. So if you eat the brain of a human, right, this neurological disease is like almost like a cosmological karmic payback, right? Degrades your neurological functions. It causes tremors, loss of balance, and headaches. So that explains why we always see that in these movies, I guess.
What about the rest of it, though? If you're not eating brains, the actual meat. I'm sure there was something about the meat. I don't know anything about the brain.
I had read a study once. I don't know how accurate it was that stated that it kind of worked like if you were eating the meat of other cannibals, then yes, it would affect you, but if not, it wouldn't. Like it was something that would result from a buildup within the
transmission
over time.
The transmission of abnormally folded prion proteins. So basically, okay, so you have an overabundance in your body, and therefore your brain couldn't function. Okay, well, there's a delicate balance to life, folks. Don't eat brains.
Brains.
Also, there's and that's just one example of how cannibalism can mess you up. I'm not gonna look into the others because I'm actually anti-cannibal. But
you start getting adverts from Google pro cannibalism. Are you looking for someone to donate their meat?
Oh no. No way, Jose. That would not be.
Okay.
I read the
10 countries for cannibalism.
I read The Road.
Be receiving ads, human flesh, 25, 30 an ounce.
Yes, if I really got hungry for like that type of flavor, I think I would just go somewhere like the Philippines or Malaysia and eat monkey. You know what I mean? Like you're like, I want to see what human tastes like. Like go eat a primate somewhere, then it's gonna be comparable. Humans are more of like trash pandas though. Like we eat food that animals wouldn't eat.
Yeah, we're omnivores. We're essentially like scavengers, basically, but highly evolved scavengers.
Yeah, really.
Well, I don't know about scavengers, but hunter-gatherer. I mean.
Once we become, well, okay.
I put it under the same category, though. I see it as the same thing, essentially, that you're just going around trying to find something. Oh, look, this looks like something to eat, and then we've developed preferences over the years. It's kind of how I've always seen it.
The increased size of the primate brain could be due to like a nut tree or any type of tree that provides protein, right? What I like to imagine is that bigger animals like wolves or cats. 1 second, dogs. We're letting out. I gotta let my dogs out. Damn you, speech processing unit. Larger animals were like killing stuff, like what we would call herd animals later. But like, let's say an oxen or some type of deer was killed by a large canid, some type of canine thing, right?
Yeah.
Then imagine like the large pack size of hominids, let's say 30 to 250, drop from the trees and beat the hell out of that wolf pack, right? And take that deer. That's just me though. That's what I like to imagine. That's how we came to the ground and started just killing shit on our own.
We're like for us to be able to think properly, we needed higher levels of energy. Like a lot of it is dependent on like if your brain doesn't have if you're not intaking food that gives you enough energy to process thinking, then you just don't. I think I don't know when we started cooking things or when our diet started to change, but when our
Be right back.
yeah,
That would be about 6,000
increase
years ago.
then, but yeah, it was the increase in something that we started to get more energy. It's easier for us to get energy now that essentially it's so compact, and it's easy to just go to the shops now and just buy something. So a lot of that energy you're sort of getting quite rapidly. I've started to. I'm not an expert in food at all, but I've started looking into food because I need to change my diet, and it's been interesting. The sort of effects that a diet can give you. There's that cliche of you are what you eat.
You need to start a garden. You need to start a garden.
It'd be nice. Yeah, I got myself a slow cooker. Well, I got it for Christmas, a slow cooker, and I need to start looking for some recipes, like things that I can eat in there. It'll probably be like some form of soup, or just get like a bunch of different types of meat or something. And I don't like vegetables. That's one of the biggest problems, and I need more vegetables in my diet because that it fills you up better, and I can at least
You just need to find the vegetables that you like.
Yeah, and there's not many. I'm quite fussy when it comes to it. Most of the things that I like to eat are meat.
love vegetables. I always have. But then again, we had our own garden. Actually, I had a little mini farm in the middle of town, believe it or not. And so I grew up eating fresh vegetables right off the vine.
We didn't really have.
Which is why I still prefer
that, to be honest. Like, I don't know where I'd.
Most vegetables to me, like a carrot. Once you cook a carrot, you've ruined it.
Mm.
You want to, most vegetables want to eat fresh or keep that, keep it contained in that water, like a soup again, like a soup or a stew.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking. I was just saying about the. I need to start. That I've been looking into different types of food and cooking different food, and I need I've got a slow cooker, so I need to start making like stew and stuff, and it'll be a lot easier to get vegetables in there, and then I can just like throw some meat in there and then some random vegetables, and then if I'm cooking it with the meat, then I won't. It's not like eating a whole sort of vegetable on its own. It just kind of be, just molded in there.
That's how I deal with my vegetables and soups and stews and stuff.
Yeah, chop it
always pull them aside and then chop it up, and then take little bites of it with bites of everything else, so I don't taste it.
Yeah. No, the best way to go about it is cutting that junk food out, because I've noticed like it doesn't really have much nutritional value. When I'm looking into it, it's essentially empty calories. Like you're taking in calories, but you're not actually sort of getting the things that your body needs for it to function properly. So when I start thinking of, well, your brain needs a certain amount of energy to process properly, and as well as like just moving around and stuff, when you just eat nothing but junk, a lot of the times like you just feel drained and tired all the time. And I've started hearing that your diet is linked to depression as well. There's been people that changed the diet, and their mental health has improved from it. So it's worth trying out, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely it is.
It's good to know what
your diet is tied into your health across the board, man.
Yeah.
Diet is everything.
Yep. It's a big part of it, dude. Because what you take into your body affects you in various ways, and it's really good to know those things. Even if you're not.
I've always taken a how do you put it, everything in moderation approach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I allow myself a little Debbie every once in a while, or junk, but usually I try to.
Do you guys have little Debbies in Britain?
Debbie's? You mean like cheat days?
No, little Debbie's, like it's a product, food product.
I've never heard of it.
All right.
They're little sugar and filled cream. Yeah. Oh yeah. Little Debbie's are awesome.
God, it's definitely a cheat day. you had the right connotation. Like, I mean, like, or like, you knew what he was talking about. It's definitely something you would do on a day where you would cheat on your diet, or you would,
something you shouldn't eat.
Yeah, nothing but empty calories across the board.
Little
Lots and
Debbie's.
lots of sugar.
God, man, I'm just gonna say that a couple more times. Little Debbie's, if you're out there, man, Little Debbie's.
Just biting into a piece of sugar.
Their oatmeal filled cream pies. Oh,
There's a whole variety of them. It's not just one thing. There's like Little Debbie's is a brand, like Nike or.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Okay, so little. Man, I'm trying to think of something. How does
they're like cakes or something, like little cakes?
Yes, a whole series
cakes.
of them. So like, zebra cakes are good. There's oh man, oh God, there's so many good ones. I try not to think about them. When I walk by them in the store, I just keep walking. I just keep walking when I walk by them in the store.
Their oatmeal cream pies are just too soft.
Oh, they're
oatmeal
good.
Cookies with
Oh,
sugar cream in the middle of them.
Oh yeah,
Pressed together like an Oreo, but they're big.
You can act like those are healthy. You can at least like be like, oh, here you go, kid. Let's put this in your lunch, and like you can act like it's kind of
a little dessert.
Yeah, a little dessert.
A little dessert. It sounds like a big dessert.
It's an oatmeal cookie about this big, 2 of them. So 2 oatmeal cookies, and in the middle of it, it has a very sugary cream.
Fill your calories for a week in a day.
Gosh,
oh yeah, in a bite, man.
Just taking a bite and go, whoa, I've just gone over my limit for today. Oh God.
And then every year for Christmas they have these little chocolate cakes with white frosting in the shape of Christmas trees.
Yep. And they have a few other things
Those are good.
That are really good. Yeah.
Little Debbie's, they're all good.
There you go, Little Debbie's. Your commercial is.
And they're addictive, man. I mean, I have actually sat down and eaten a whole box. Just.
Oh no!
The next day I knew the box was empty. I was like, oh shit, I ate all 12.
That's so bad, dude. That's so bad. I'd have to lay down.
Oh man, I was bouncing off the walls, dude. I was wired for hours.
Diabetic coma.
To be honest, like I'm kind of weird because I don't really like food. It's just something I have to do. Like there's not that many things that taste good to me. Like growing up, I always had a high metabolism, and it slowed down over the years. But I can still pretty much eat whatever I want with not many consequences. But I just got fed up with the food because I had to eat so much of it, and I'd always just be skinny no matter what. And now I'm still skinny, but like I've got a belly at the same time, like skinny fat. It's just annoying.
Yeah. Hey, I'm in the same boat, man.
Yeah. But, yeah. This is why, like those foods that you'd eat as a treat, like there's not much of an appeal to me. It doesn't really excite me to think, oh well, I could eat this cake and it'll like it just, I don't know, it just doesn't excite me really. But the food sucks in England though, to be fair. So
bro, as soon as you not as soon as you get here, but like at some point when you're here, right, you're gonna experience some foods that you'll enjoy. Okay, I mean, I don't want to like overhype it. Like they're gonna blow your socks off, dog. But because what happens is like
I'll have to cook you a traditional Southerner dinner.
Yeah.
And I've never been to England, but people just come back from there and they basically say that the food is very bland. And then when I say, well, that can't be just bland. Like, what are some of the seasonings, right? They'll say, well, they do salt and vinegar a lot.
Yeah, seasoning. Do you mean salt, vinegar? And if we want to get a little bit extreme, we might put some pepper on it.
Oh,
do you put vinegar on your French fries?
Yeah. Well, I'm not a big vinegar fan, but like vinegar's still good. Yeah, but yeah, salt and vinegar's the most of it. But half of my family's Asian as well, so like they'll make curries and stuff, and so I do eat a variety of food. So it's not like I just have English food, but yeah, English food is very bland.
Our food over here is everywhere's food. Like American food is anywhere you are in America, There's still going to be like a Chinese restaurant or a Thai place, or there's a wonderful Persian place down the street. They say they're Mediterranean, but they're like definitely like Iranian or something like that.
Then there's always a Denny's or an Outback Steakhouse or
yeah, do we have all kinds of
60s
food
diner. Those are fun.
America's big on food. You're going to see like everywhere you go. Yeah, even in the middle of nowhere, there's going to be a diner. Exactly. Like, yeah, you could be in the middle of nowhere, like a Flying J. You know what I'm saying, Chuck?
Yeah. We basically like we have
AM PMs.
We have chip shops. We have Chinese, and we have Indian. That's the extent of our food sort of range.
Oh yeah. Here, man, you'll be, especially when you get to California, man, you'll be exposed to foods from all over the second world, man. Anywhere you can think of.
Yeah.
Yep. Anywhere. The pizza is a big thing here. Like everybody kind of like tries to determine which place is the best pizza. Because there's like each
homemade. Mine.
I like to do homemade too, actually, because you get to choose exactly what you want on it. But there's a couple of places. I'm like, I'm saying like over the nation. Though, like people in New York will say they have the best pizza. People in Chicago say they have the best pizza.
Yeah, I get the impression that you guys are like pizza connoisseurs over there.
We are.
Yeah, kind of. We really like it a lot.
We take our pizza very seriously.
Ninja Turtles indoctrinated a whole generation of people to pizza.
And then you've always got the cheap generic pizza places, like Little Caesars, where you can go get a pizza for $5,
or you get pizza by the slice. Yeah,
it reminds me of those people that are really into coffee, and they seem to like, oh well, this coffee is horrible, but this coffee is and I'm drinking. I'm like, well, just coffee tastes like coffee to me. It's all just generic number one coffee, like flavor number one, flavor number two.
That's funny. That's pretty good.
It's the same thing with wine. I'm like, hey man, isn't the point just to get messed up? Does it get me drunk? Yeah, all right, okay.
They did an experiment on that, and like they tested different like wine connoisseurs and stuff, and they couldn't tell the difference between cheap wine and expensive wine like a lot of the time. So it seems like a lot of them are just blagging it, like, oh, this tastes like I can taste the wood that was filtered through it, like the barrel.
Now, I will agree with wine. There are subtle differences between even batches. There are
subtle differences, but to be able to tell if it's like expensive,
so I get kind of that part, to taste them, to see those differences and appreciate it, but
like they take it too far. Really, I think.
Yeah. It's happening that way with beer too. Beer here has gotten that way where people are really concerned about the hops, and like IPA is a big thing right now.
Everyone's an expert all of a sudden.
Dude, my dad gets marijuana. My dad gets pot or marijuana, and he's telling me like the name of the strain and the percentage that's in there, because where he's at in his state, they have to test it for percentage level, right?
Oh yeah.
So he's telling me the name and the percentage level and what farm it's on and the name of the farmer and the name of the farmer's dog. And you know what I mean? Like I'm like, I don't care, Dad. I don't give a shit about all that organic shit. I just want to buy something that is weed. You know what I mean? Like
it reminds me of what was
something else I never understood was these marijuana growers going, oh, let's make it stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And I'm like, how fucking strong does it need to be, man?
Bro, there's some stuff down here. There's stuff that's anywhere.
Dude.
Like we couldn't even bring it into the Midwest because we get a life sentence in prison, right? But there's some stuff. There really is, dude. There's some stuff here on the West Coast that if we took it into the prohibition states, some of those states would put us away forever. There's this wax, and the wax is basically like a refined hash, or like the wax is like THC and some other stuff that makes it and they have like all different types of wax, like wax and shatter and pure oil and all this stuff that they're all burning at very high temperatures to get like this very pure THC only, no vegetable matter in it. You know what I mean? Like no organic matter. And I'm old school. I'm like, man, you guys are on some shit. You guys have like blowtorches out and like crazy contraptions that look like something from a science lab. I'm just trying to roll a joint,
This
Yeah,
reminds
that's
me
it,
of
man.
Cat Williams. Like, he was doing a bit where it was like, this guy's like, "Oh, do you want this?" And he's rolling off all these strains and these bizarre names and stuff. And he's like, "I just want regular weed."
Yeah, I'm sure that's where I got that from. Yeah, Cat Williams, regular weed bit. Exactly. Yes, Cat
Yeah.
Williams. I gotta cite my source. Yes, Cat Williams was definitely the inspiration for what I just said earlier. I want some just regular stuff, normal stuff.
Regular weed, and it's like it was on about that, like, oh, there was some stuff, like, I think he was on about like when he was smoking with Snoop Dogg or something.
Yeah,
or like,
yeah. Oh
he
yeah, I
was
have a
like just
DVD.
smoking something, and like it just it just ruined the like rest of his, well, not ruined it, but like
The whole
function for the rest
experience.
of the day. Oh.
A guy named Trent Babb, right? Wonderful comedian named Trent Babb. Normally clean guy, right?
Yeah.
Tells an awesome joke, which I won't even say. I'm just going to allude to it, right? About the time that he got high. And keep in mind, he's a clean cut dude. Okay.
Yeah.
So this joke goes dirty fast, right? Like so fast. And,
0 to 100.
dude, I mean, we're talking like he does like, God bless you, Trent Babb. If you see this later, I'm not trying to talk trash. I'm trying to represent you in the fairest way possible. Very nice guy. He shows up to shows. He helps with chairs. He'll help with lighting. Like, and he's not even on the show. He's a very nice guy. You know what I'm saying? I need to put him on a show, right? Like soon before he leaves town, because he like travels around. Long story, but real nice guy. But he does clean stuff. I'm talking about puns and like child's like family safe humor.
Oh yeah, yeah. So then it comes out to left field when it goes.
Oh, dude, he only did it the other night for us. Like we're at like one of our clubhouses, Rocket Shop Cafe on South Union Avenue, and it's basically like where the comedians start. It's like it's level 1. Like if there was a video game, it would load up Rocket Shop Cafe. You just started doing open mic comedy, right?
Act 1.
Act 1, yep. And he was there, and we were just kind of is the crowd full of comedians, so we're all just like soulless, just waiting for our turn to go up. You know, like, yeah, your shit's funny, but we heard it last week. You know, like just proceed and finish. And he could tell that he wasn't getting no reaction out of us. So yeah, he's like, this one time I got high, and we're all like, what? Because he's so like straight laced or whatever you want to call it, you know? Yeah, straight edge. And so he tells this joke, and then it gets dirty, and you're like, whoa. Whoa!
I want to hear this joke now.
Dude, when you come to the States, I guarantee we'll be able to track down Trent Babb. I can't recreate it, dude, because it's like a story that I'm not, again, he's a friend of mine. I've only seen it once, and I already feel bad about doing the Cat Williams regular weed thing earlier. That you totally pegged me on. I'm looking at the DVD of Cat Williams right now, being like, yep, that's where I got that from.
Yeah.
I would take out Cat Williams in a fight, no problem.
Cool.
Oh yeah, Cat Williams got beat up by like a 8th grader during a soccer game. You can Google it.
He's got
he's downhill.
On him though. He's got some balls, you know.
All comedians are kind of mental. You know, like all comedians are kind of functionally mental. And yeah, that's why you do it. Really, it's like the only job that lets us get up on, or this is pretty much the only job that just lets you have complete freedom of speech and be able to act a complete fool, and still people just kind of brush it off. You know,
you can tell the truth a lot easier when you present it as a joke as well, because then like it's the sort of like unspoken truth, but because it's sort of presented as a joke, it sort of like lightens the blow of it almost, so it doesn't feel as personal, I guess.
It's a way in which for the audience, you're lightening the blow of something that's going on. Let's say if it's a current event or just the human situation at large, you know, just being a human, dealing with being a human, as long as it's relatable to them. You get what I'm saying? And then as a comedian, the benefit for the comedian is that it's a therapy that you can't even pay for. Like you can't. Yeah, one therapist is cool. Can you get me 120 therapists on a Friday night so I can make all those therapists laugh? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's one of those things where it's a therapy, and then also anything negative that happens in the comedian's life, because a lot of these guys, all the gals and guys, come from very
dark backgrounds. Yeah.
And so for us to do this at all, we had to develop a mechanism by which we processed pain and suffering and sorrow that life throws at human beings. We process that in a way that we can make it funny.
Yeah. It's the if you don't laugh then you'll cry
that's the
thing.
Eminem does with his
That's
music.
a big part of it. You laugh and the world laughs with you. You cry and you cry alone.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I've always taken that approach to life. It's why I have such a dark sense of humor. Like the more messed up stuff that you've been through, a lot of the times, like the more you feel a necessity to laugh at things, no matter how sort of like dark and messed up they are, and you end up getting sort of like really funny looks at people that have lived their lives with a silver spoon in their mouth up in their ivory towers, and they look down on you as if you're some sort of lesser being, and you're like, well,
Preach it, brother.
You haven't lived the same life as me, so you don't understand.
Yep. Yes, brother. Yes. Yeah. Preach it.
It's really frustrating to me that they don't understand that. Like, it needs to be just taught somewhere. Like, look, you need to understand this. Like, why people have different sense of humor to each other.
I agree absolutely.
Well, I was exposed to that with my second wife. She was always making jokes about her upbringing and her mental illness as a result of it. Saying things like child abuse, the gift that keeps on giving, and making jokes about her cancer and that kind of stuff. And
yeah.
I told her once, I said, this is just such a stinking downer, man. Every time you do this, why would you want to joke about something so serious? And that was her response was, well, if I didn't, it would drive me insane.
Yeah, because she's experienced it.
Of course, that was a joke because she was insane.
Yeah, most people joke about the things that they've experienced, whether it's firsthand or secondhand. They've experienced it in some way, and they need to. It's a difficult thing to process, like in a real way, and like a lot of the times, your brain physically can't process that sort of information. We're not designed as humans to deal with that sort of like intense amount of trauma, so you need to process it as a joke a lot of the time. So.
Right. I've got a really dark joke about that I've said in very inappropriate situations, like in front of, Nathan's teachers at one point. You know what I'm saying? So it goes, the pain in the ass about eidetic memory. The pain in the ass about eidetic memory is the early childhood molestation.
Oh God. Oh God.
Because there's the wordplay too, like the pain in the ass, I really like that. I really like that one. I cannot say that one on stage very often. People do not like that one on stage.
Yeah. You get some really weird like after that, like, oh Jesus, like just like it'd just be one of those like you could hear a pin drop moments, and they just kind of look at you in a stunned silence, and that's kind of amusing. Like as a third party watching that sort of play out is quite fun. It's quite funny.
Yeah, oh yeah. When people when I like groans and I like laughter. Silence, I'll take your silence. I literally said this on stage to the audience. Like, I like groans. I like laughter.
Yeah,
I'll even take your shocked silence, whatever. No, when you take people, you should take them on a ride. And it basically, it's a long story. When you get here, I'll explain a lot of the craft of this. It really, like, us explain it in a hangout would be me expounding for too long, and then also them getting like $1 million worth of advice for fucking $9.99.
Yeah.
So people have dropped down some great advice to me, like really great advice. Andrew Boydston, Google that guy or YouTube that guy. Anybody out there? Andrew Boydston. I'm surprised we haven't had him on the show yet. Like, that's a guy I need to get on the show. Andrew Boydston is this comedian, and he gave me really good advice to basically open up with a joke that works, like an opening joke that works to get the crowd on your side type thing. Like, oh, this guy's funny, he's good. Usually making fun of yourself, so that they know that you're already able to do that you don't take yourself serious,
Yeah.
Then a bunch of experimental stuff, boop-a-doop-a-doop, stuff you've been working on, you know, pieces that you're trying to polish off or put in the right place in an order or work on the wording of, but they don't really matter that much if they land or fall, whatever, right? These jokes, they're just experiments, right? Then they finish with a good one, like that you know works, like a closer joke, right? And that form right there, that little sandwich of like a tried and true joke, a bunch of experimental jokes, and then a tried and true joke at the end.
Yeah.
That sandwich has taken me like it's been 2 years, and it literally makes material. He called it a sandwich even. Like the bread is these jokes that always work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And your bread and butter, right? And the sandwich is a formula that continually changes. You know, like
yeah, because when some of your experimental stuff, when it hits, then you can sort of like pull that either at the beginning or the end, and you get that good first impression when you're telling that first joke, and you're leaving them with a good impression as well. So it sort of, the impression of the whole thing will be generally positive, I'd imagine.
Have you ever seen one of those absurd cartoons where the cartoon character, a cat or a mouse or whatever, makes a giant sandwich?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it's like when you're actually like getting when they're like, hey, come on in and you're a headliner, you're gonna do 40 minutes. You're like, okay, bread, butter, oh shit, okay, cheese, tuna fish, salami, ham, more cheese. You know what I'm saying? It's like you build this crazy stupid sandwich that's like all the meats you could ever think of, all your jokes you've ever created, and you got to put them in sequence so that they all fit together or form some type of overarching narrative, some type of theme, and then end with some callbacks to earlier jokes. You know what I'm saying?
But he saves. Yeah. Yeah, some Dave Chappelle.
I'm trying to make a Dance Revolution game where you actually don't have to think at all. You just button mash your way to comedic victory. You know what I'm saying?
That's how most of it works. Most just stumble their way onto the big stage, and they're there.
At about 14 to 15 months in, white guys want to say the N-word, and they do, and you see it happen. And then black comedians get on stage and like guys who are real nice, like guys who wear like a bow tie and some suspenders and like dress really hipsterish, right? And like got their hair on that like 4-inch curves. Like they got dude just jumps up on stage and he's like drops character from being like the nice comedian, and he's like, I mean, he goes from being like, hey guys, how's it going, to like, hey yo, don't ever fucking say that in front of me again. Like, because they get up on stage like, you crack your ass is so fucking white that if somebody made a meme about your ass, they would not be able to read half the text, you white motherfucker. Like, just like, you so white, and like they just fucking go into some shit. Like, you really don't want to say that word on stage unless you're ready for the pretty much half the fucking crowd to like fuck needle drop, boo, just boo. And then all of the minority comedians getting on the stage afterwards just like either make rough reference to you doing it, or we'll just straight up fucking lambaste you. You know? Like,
and you said 14 to 15 months. Is that what about 14 to 15 years when you still haven't made it, and then like you snap like Kramer, and then you just like
Michael Richards, right? Michael Richards messed up. Okay, Michael Richards said the wrong ER word. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. It went. He definitely went the hard R on that one.
Okay.
Give these words power, though. This is one of the most frustrating things to me, that a lot of the times these words aren't in my general vocabulary. But I don't have a problem with anyone using any word, to be honest. It frustrates me that that you could just say a word and people just start to get triggered. I'm like, well, you're giving this word power over you, and it's...
Well, all right. So here's the context, though. I mean,
can I break down the situation? Can I tell it, or go ahead?
Let me real quick. I mean, you're part of a fucking ethnicity and a background that conquered the world and imperialized everybody for hundreds of years. So like these people were systematically fucking oppressed for hundreds of years and are still institutionally fucking bigoted against. In our country, at least. And so the word nigger does have power specifically because it's a word to demean and to make them remind them of their place in the world. So yeah, I mean, people get triggered by it. Like, yeah, I mean, you don't have any social context. Like, I mean,
I understand the history behind it. I mean, the Indians were slaves to the British for a long time as well. That's half of my heritage.
I'm gonna zoom in on the joke itself and the execution and how Michael Richards failed to make it funny. Okay.
Yeah, I get jokes falling on their face and stuff, but a lot of the times, like, I see hypocrisy that it's all right for one to do it and not another, and it's frustrating to me that I'd like the rules to universally be across the board, and like regardless of the sort of historical significance, you can take.
I'm not going to get into the whole word itself, right? I want to talk about how Michael Richards failed. We didn't even welcome Jesse into the hangout. Hey, Jesse, welcome to the hangout.
Hey,
thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I got coffee, man.
Hey, Jesse.
There's one place you don't want to go. It's like 2 coffee shop lines at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's true.
Just before New Year as well.
Yeah, dude, people are fucking bugging, man. It's wild out there.
Yeah.
Shit, I tried to buy my kid a scooter and like the whole stores are sold out. And they're like, we haven't even done inventory because this is like a couple days after Christmas. And
yeah, we're already in the black. Can you come back and like, get us out of the red next year? Thank you.
Kids get gift cards.
Hey, speaking of New Year's, my son bought his first bottle of wine yesterday.
That's cool. He's 21. Yes.
Did he save the co-op?
He's 20.
Well, they don't do co-ops anymore, do they?
23.
Back on wines.
Dude, we got a liquor warehouse. Oh yeah.
I've got to do this Richard. This Michael Richard analysis real quick, okay?
Yeah.
First rule: no matter what you say, it's got to be funny. Okay, what he said wasn't funny. He snapped. If you're watching the video, Michael Richards.
Yeah, he lost it.
I would speculate, and I haven't looked into Michael Richards' history at all. We could easily go to his IMDb or his Wikipedia and figure this out. Michael Richards, I speculate, again, I'm just guessing here, okay, is an improv actor. You dig what I'm saying? He's like really funny at improving, or was part of an improv group before he got hired as Kramer. And Kramer is basically Michael Richards acting as Larry David. You know what I'm saying? That's the way Larry David acts. Like, okay, like the whole like, whoa, the whole like, oh, you're like very like, anyways, whatever. So Larry David just didn't want to be on camera or whatever back then before Curb Your Enthusiasm when he was writing Seinfeld with Seinfeld. But so Michael Richards is playing Larry David. So he's this actor, okay? So as his acting career winds down and he can't get anything else, they're like, what have you done? Oh, you did comedy. You're on Seinfeld. You can do stand-up. No, he can't, okay? Dealing with a heckler at all, especially when you're like Michael, like when you're a name that's been on TV and stuff and you're getting paid from that venue, not like an open mic.
Yeah,
where anything goes.
Yeah, no, you're fucking being paid. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're actually being paid. At an open mic, you'll get spit on. People throw chairs. They don't give a fuck. They didn't pay.
Yeah, they'll hit you with the tomatoes, dude. Maybe a guillotine if you fucking say the wrong thing.
Tomatoes. They have 3D printed guillotines that they fly in with solar powered drones. Some of these motherfuckers you got to watch out for because they're dropping anvils and pianos and fucking and safes with these load-bearing drones. Anyways, you guys want to hear about that?
When did I go to a Wile E. Coyote fucking cosplay convention? Fucking, you look out and everybody's a fucking coyote. Everybody's just a Wile E. Coyote.
every single one.
Single one, dude. What the fuck? That wasn't a breath, man, Tom.
He snapped and he said the word, right? Okay, off this like shock value stuff, which wasn't funny.
I think he said it 3 more times.
He said it 3 more times, right? When all he would have had to say in reality, I'm talking about in reality, he would have had to take a breath, listen to what the guy said. Barely anybody else can hear the guy, even on audio. Like anybody can hear what the heckler's saying ever. Okay, you have the microphone, and then like literally like say some shit, dog. Try to talk shit on me real quick.
You bald motherfucker. You ain't funny.
That's okay. So that's what a drunk man says when they want to sign up for the mic. So go over to the host over there, guy, and go ahead and sign your name up at the bottom of the fucking list. That means you're going to be the headliner tonight, and you're going to go up last after everybody else has gone up. Yeah, you go do that, drunk ass. You know what I mean? If it's a woman doing it, If it's a woman doing it, I go, whose birthday is it? Why are there 4 of you drunk bitches here tonight? Like, what are you celebrating?
No, you call their
And it's
friends with them, make them all feel bad for her to shut her up and shit.
It's usually not even the birthday girl. I'm like, you're not even the birthday girl and you're drunk fucking heckling me? And then if you're getting paid, all you have to do is say the word heckler and security's on that shit. You're like, that's the point I'm getting to about Michael Richards. He said the wrong ER word. Okay, he shouldn't have snapped on that dude and said the N-word boop-a-doop-a-doop a bunch of times. He should have been like, hey, yo, security, heckler. And security would have walked their asses over to the guy and talked to him for a second, had him sit down. Or sometimes I've seen big
they'll just
burly,
fucking wrap him on the neck and
Yeah.
fucking set him outside like a fucking
I've seen-
lamp, dude. It's like you grab a lamp, dude. You just grab that and you set it somewhere. Like that's what they do to people, dude. I've seen that in the metal clubs all the time, dude. The big old fucking tree trunk arms, dude. Just wrap your neck. Just fucking set you somewhere, dude. It doesn't matter how big you are. Doesn't matter, dude. They can literally just lift you like a lamp. It's fucking weird.
I've seen people open doors with dudes' heads, like literally grab like 3 or 4 motherfuckers will grab a guy, and the guy's so drunk he's just sitting on the stage. He's not even making. He's not heckling anymore. He just wants to be the center of attention, so he's sitting on the stage in front of a guy who's getting paid to like play guitar and be funny. You know what I mean? And John Hacker goes, you have 2 options. This guy named John Hacker, hilarious comedian. Maybe you can find him on YouTube. I'm not sure. John Hacker goes, you have 2 options. You either ha-ha or you don't ha-ha. And the point the guy sits on the stage, he's just like, hey, security, heckler. And they were just like, boom, and like a log. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
3
just
guys.
fucking out the door.
Yep.
I
man.
saw that guy snapping as well. Like I didn't find it funny either. There's better ways of insulting people as well. A lot of the times, like when you resort to the one-word insults, then a lot of the times you can't think of anything more intelligent to say. And like one of my biggest gripes about banning any sort of words is that you could.
That's the light, folks.
Yeah.